Coming up on Network Africa, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari presents the 2018 budget before joint session of the National Assembly. And Zimbabwe's First Lady Grace Mugabe says President Robert Mugabe is set to appoint her as Vice President. Plus, American scientists try out a crude prototype breathalyzer in Africa. Hello everyone, it's great to have you on Network Africa. We'll begin here in Nigeria, where President Muhammadu Buhari has just presented the 2018 budget of 8.61 trillion naira before a joint session of the National Assembly. The president says the budget is consolidated on the 2017 budget and is built on the economic recovery and growth plan. He's optimistic that the 2018 budget will be better than that of the previous year. The president says progress made in the area of security must be sustained, while provision has been made in the 2018 appropriation bill to speed up the cleanup of Ogoni land. 30.8% of the 2018 appropriation bill is allocated to capital expenditure. President Buhari reaffirms his administration's resolve to improve power generation and transmission, road and rail infrastructure, agriculture and manufacturing. He condemns the practice of under-remittance of funds to the Federation account by government agencies and parastatals.
Businesses. Indeed, over 110,000 households are currently benefiting from the conditional cash transfer program across the country. The 2017 budget of recovery and growth was based on a benchmark oil price of 44.5 United States dollars per barrel, oil production of 2.2 million barrels per day, and a Naira to United States dollar exchange rate of 305. Based on these assumptions, and total revenue of 5.084 trillion naira was projected to fund aggregate expenditure of 7.441 trillion naira. A projected fiscal deficit of 2.356 trillion naira was to be financed mainly by domestic and external borrowing. One revenue performance. Collections were 14% below target as of September 2017, mainly due to the shortfall in non-oil reserves. A key revenue shortfall was from independent revenues. Only 155.14 billion naira was remitted by September 2017, as against the projected pro-rate sum of 605.87 billion naira. This represents a 74% shortfall, which is very disappointing. This recurring issue of under-remittance of operating surpluses by state-owned entities is absolutely unacceptable. You will all recall that in September 2017, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board announced that they were ready to remit 7.8 billion naira back to the government. The shocking discovery was that in the last decade, JAM only remitted only aggregate of 51 million naira.
We'll be having more on Nigeria's 2018 budget proposal in a moment, but for now, let's turn our attention to Zimbabwe, where there's a new twist in the country's political events following the sack of President Robert Mugabe's vice, Emerson Mnangagwa, on Monday. His main rival for the job, who happens to be the president's wife, Grace Mugabe, told a rally over the weekend that Mr. Mugabe is expected to appoint her as his deputy. The Minister of Media, Information and Broadcast Services announced on behalf of President Robert Mugabe that his Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa had been fired. He cited disloyalty, failure to discharge his duties in a reliable manner as the reasons for his immediate dismissal.
It had become evident that his conduct in the discharge of his duties had become inconsistent with his official responsibilities. The Vice President has consistently and persistently exhibited traits of disloyalty, disrespect, deceitfulness, and unreliability. He has also demonstrated little probity in the execution of his duties.
Prior to this latest development, the First Lady Grace Mugabe had been leading a campaign against Mnangagwa. She cranked up the pressure against him, calling him the root cause of the factionalism that was rocking the political party. She had told a rally that Mugabe is expected to appoint a woman deputy after a special ruling party congress next month, adding that there was nothing wrong if she was appointed.
In as much as Grace Mugabe wants Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa to be fired or to be removed in this government post, we also believe as Zimbabweans that it's no longer overdue for President Mugabe and his wife and the government. They should all go now. The ZANU-PF system, I think, has failed.
75-year-old Emmerson Mnangagwa was widely speculated to be Mugabe's possible successor. He served as the government's Minister of Rural Housing and Social Amenities, Speaker of the House of Assembly, then was appointed as Vice President in December 2014, after former Vice President Joyce Mujuru was dismissed on allegation of fanning factionalism and trying to topple the president. Joining us to speak more on this is a legal practitioner, Mr. John Osegi. Thank you for joining us on the program, Mr. Osegi. Now, how do you see Mrs. Mugabe's announcement that her husband, the president, is set to appoint her as his vice following Mnangagwa's sack?
First and foremost,